The cruel truth is that bad things can happen where and when you least expect it. I got to know that simple truth the hard way. I thought that I, Alexander Eriksson, a 43-year-old Scandinavian guy, had a perfect life with 2 great kids, a beautiful, loving wife, good health, a nice home, a good job, helpful parents, many friends, and an economy on a fair level. I had a rather fair-paid job at the community-owned real estate administration, which meant I was responsible for all the school, daycare, and old people's home buildings in the town and surrounding villages. Therefore, the shock hit me hard as hell when I found out that something must be wrong in my current relationship with my wife, Lisa. My nightmare began on an average Thursday evening when I was cleaning the new hobby room in my basement. I got the hobby room after replacing the oil burner and 3,000-liter oil tank with a simple connection to the municipal central system, which only needed a small box on the wall. I had painted the whole room and laid a new floor. I had packed all the junk in different garbage bags for transport to the recycling station when I needed a small bag for some plastic jars and bottles. I went up to the kitchen and took a grocery bag from the cupboard where we kept used bags. Those plastic bags are perfect for such use. Nothing strange with that bag I had taken. It had the usual big, colorful logo from the supermarket chain where we did our shopping. But when I laid the first item in it, I noted a receipt on the bottom of the bag. I can't explain to this very day why I took up that receipt. I never cared what we paid for groceries. However, it was now that everything went wrong because I noted that the receipt was from a supermarket in a town 35 kilometers from our hometown, and my wife Lisa had done the shopping at a date and a time when she ought to have been at work. Lisa had no duties out of town at her work as a bank teller, and if she had done such an unusual thing, she would have told me because she always told me a lot of gossip about what happened at the bank where she worked. Of course, I could have asked her at once, but I didn't expect to get the truth. So I decided to find out the real truth in other ways, though I got a strange feeling that I might not like the answer. Lisa is a very gorgeous, tall, blonde, Nordic beauty, mother of 2 children, and she looks much younger than her 39 years. I was a rather average guy when I met Lisa at a dance. I was neither rich nor a famous sports star, not even a tough guy who had done army service in some special unit. I had seen Lisa before and even danced with her, but I never before made any serious attempts to get any close relationship with her. This evening was different. I don't know why I found her so overwhelming that evening, and I held her closer, praised her hair, dress, and perfume, but didn't expect any results of such simple courting, especially not when she was surrounded by many attractive guys during the whole evening. Therefore, I was happy to get a second dance with her, which was a slow tune. I was both surprised and proud when Lisa pulled me tight, whispering in my ear, "Save the last dance for me." Of course I did it. After that memorable last dance, she came with me to my apartment where we, after some tender necking, ended up naked in my bed, and after some further necking, she was ready for the deed. Then she began to cry and said that she was very happy because it was almost a year since any of her lovers had brought her to such heights as I had done. We continued to date, and our intimacy got better every time we did it. Soon, both of us were madly in love. Our wedding was 2 years later when she was 25 and I was 29. Our kids, Linda and Lucas, came 3 and 5 years after the wedding. Both Lisa and I had broken relations and several partners before we got together, which we regarded as an advantage because it had taught both of us that the grass isn't greener on the other side of the fence. Lisa never denied that she got many advances when she was out with her girl gang, and sometimes even when she and I were out. But I never doubted her when she told me that it was rather annoying to be the target of men and that she was happy with me, and our intimacy was great for her. The question was, why in the hell had she been in the next town during her working time? I really hoped to get an innocent reply, but the bad feelings remained. Lisa's best friend, Anna Granlund, was living in their native village about 15 kilometers outside the town. Due to technical reasons, a cell phone provider other than ours had the best connection in that village, so the people there preferred to use that provider's net. Lisa's and Anna's long calls would be expensive with roaming between two different cell phone providers, so they preferred to use the wired phone with a low monthly flat rate and nothing extra paid for used time. Though I felt like a jerk for doing it, I decided to set up a simple trap for Lisa. On Saturday, when she got her hair done for a party we were invited to later that evening, I bought an electronic phone recording unit, installed it in my home office in the basement, and tested it. On Monday evening, I activated my trap by telling Lisa, "A guy at my job told me a very funny thing today. He said he had seen a real look-alike to you in the next town last week. She looked almost like your twin sister," he said. "Have you heard about her before?" I noted a split second of worry on her face when she replied, "No, but it would be nice to see and know her." Lisa usually got home 1 hour before me, and if Anna, who worked as a nurse, happened to be at home, then they used to have a long chat on the phone. Tuesday after work, I pretended to have some work to do at home, which happened now and then, and went to my home office to listen to the recorder. After some uninteresting mumbo-jumbo, Lisa went straight to the point. "Alexander almost scared the hell out of me yesterday when he told me about some guy who had seen me in the next town and thought that I was Lisa's look-alike, just like a twin sister." Anna: "Oh my God, what did you say?" Lisa: "It would be fun to see her." Anna: "You dared to do that? Did he even mention your twin sister's husband?" Lisa: "No, but I must be much more careful the next time, maybe have a wig or something like that. You have an old black wig, haven't you?" Anna: "Yes, I have. We can begin to use that. By the way, have you booked any next time yet?" Lisa: "We're looking forward to next week, but it depends if Douglas can be off from his work after lunch that day. He is very busy, you know. How about you? You have the nest booked tomorrow, haven't you?" Anna: "Yes, I have. And I'm really looking forward to it." Lisa: "What silly women we are." Anna: "Yes, we are indeed." Lisa: "But why should we say no thanks to some exciting bonus intimacy as long as we don't hurt our husbands?" Anna: "Even they'll get what they need, don't you agree?" Lisa did, and thereafter they began to talk about Lisa's big 40-year party that I had promised to organize as a kind of surprise party for her. I would have preferred to have taken a hard hit with a baseball bat than listen to that phone call, which without any doubt meant serious problems for all of us in my family. It would be worse for our innocent children who probably would be living in some kind of shared custody in the future. When I got over the shock, I decided that her big party would be quite different from what she expected. One thing was for sure. Both Lisa and Anna had lovers whom they met in some kind of nest in the next town. Lisa did it with some Douglas, which is a rather unusual name in this country, most common in noble families. Tracing this Douglas would be my first goal. An extended search of the phone register on the web gave me only 2 people named Douglas in our town and the surrounding villages. A subscription to and a search in the half-legal credit register on the net was well-used money for getting further information about these 2 men. It told me that one of them was a 67-year-old retired school teacher, and I regarded him to be out of question as a lover for Lisa. The other one, a Douglas Lindbergh, was much more interesting. He was a 34-year-old technical engineer, married, and had 2 children. My only doubt about this guy was that I also found a 31-year-old Douglas in the next town. My next step was writing a letter to Anna's husband, Robin. "Dear Robin, you ought to know what many of your friends and acquaintances already know, that Anna is cheating on you with a lover boy, your faithful friends." Lisa immediately saw that something was wrong with me when I got into the kitchen. I told her that I didn't feel well and intended to take a walk to get some fresh air. I went out and mailed the letter to Robin. He would read it about the same time as Anna got back home, new from her date in the next town. During my walk to the mailbox, I was thinking about Anna and Lisa's love nest, and after some time I remembered that some years ago one of Anna's friends had met a guy from the next town and moved together with him there. That was a clue to follow because I had a slight memory that her name was something like Helene, Helena, or Helen. The next day, I canceled my booking of the inn where I had intended to have Lisa's big birthday party. I even canceled my booking of the popular dance band that was expected to play at the party. I took a long lunch break and went home, looked in Lisa's albums, and found several pictures of the girl who had left for the next town. Her full name, Helene Silverstein, was written under one of the pictures. My search of the online phone register gave me the phone number and addresses of Elvin Anderson and Helene Silverstein Anderson. I looked forward to hearing if Anna had told Lisa some gossip about the date with her lover, and if Robin had asked her any questions about the news he got in my letter. When Lisa went to her aerobics, I immediately went to my home office and listened to the recording. Anna was obviously very proud about her cheating because she bragged about it, saying, "It was the best intimacy I've had in years." I must confess that though Robin is very good in bed, Bongo is better. He is bigger, lasts longer, and recovers fast, so I have a great time almost the whole time we are together. Lisa: Sounds great. Are you in love with him, and have you already booked your next date? Anna: Yes, we booked the same time next week. I need that great time every week. It's an intensive desire for me. Lisa: Please be careful when you are doing it so often. I'm still a bit scared about the look-alike story Alexander told me about, and I have begun to have a strange feeling that he suspects something. He is so different since he asked about that look-alike. Sometimes I even suspect that he knows it was I, myself, who was there. Anna: I promise to dump Bongo when I get enough of him. What about Alexander and you? Are you two still doing it as usual? Lisa: No, we haven't done it in a long time. Not since before my period. We had no intimacy the last weekend, and I've got a feeling that Alexander was avoiding me. The truth is that I haven't had any intimacy since I did it with Douglas last Tuesday. Anna: Men can act that way sometimes, but be careful and pretend to be his loving wife even when you are dreaming about Douglas. Lisa: I don't need to pretend. I am his loving wife. Anna: But he would kick your back and call you a cheating woman if he knew what you do with Douglas. Lisa: He will never know because he is sure that I'm a faithful, loving wife. Both of them laughed at that comment, which I didn't find funny at all. There was no more about their cheating in that chat. Robin had obviously not taken any immediate action after reading my letter. I wrote a new letter to him. Dear friend, it is my duty to tell you that Frederick Bongo Anderson is bragging that your wife Anna is the best woman he ever had on the side. He did it again yesterday. I used a different envelope this time and told my children that I had to buy a magazine. I went out, mailed the letter to his job, bought my magazine, and was back home before Lisa. Later that evening, when Lisa and I were sitting in the living room, I asked her, I've been thinking about your look-alike and have plans for her. Do you have any connections with that Helene something who moved to the next town some years ago? Lisa looked scared for a second before she replied. No, not at all. I haven't seen her in years. I don't even know her married name. What do you want with Helene? If she lives in the same town as your look-alike, she ought to have seen her and probably even knows her, I asked. Why your big interest in that look-alike? Am I not enough for you? Do you want two of us? Just wait and see, it'll be a surprise, I replied. Nothing more was said about it that evening. I gave a silent prayer that Lisa would use our wired phone when she called Helene the next day, and that Robin would ask Anna some questions. The next day should be interesting. It really was. I rang Helene from my job just before I went home, and I was sure that Lisa had talked with her already because Helene didn't know anything about Lisa or any look-alike. I told her some mumbo-jumbo that people who knew Lisa had seen her look alike, and I had some plans to hire her to do something at Lisa's big party. Lisa looked very stressed when I came home after work. I was sure that she had been crying. I asked her, What's wrong? Are you or any of our children ill or hurt? After some hesitation, Lisa replied, No, nothing wrong with me, but I feel so sorry for Anna because Robin was taken to the police station. I had to pretend to be surprised. Robin? What the hell has he done to end up there? Robin was involved in a fight, and the other man was taken to the hospital. Robin? Fighting? I can't believe that. He must have a damn good reason to get involved in a fight. Why did he do that? Once again, Lisa hesitated before she replied, I really wish I knew. He's probably already out. A fighter is usually out after a few hours. Call Anna if you don't believe me. Lisa rang Anna, and though I didn't hear what Anna said, I understood that she was in a terrible mess. After Lisa hung up the phone, she decided to go there and try to comfort Anna. When Lisa had left, I went to my office and listened to my recordings. As expected, the first one was to Helene, and they agreed that Helene wouldn't know anything when I rang her. Then Lisa booked Anita's apartment for the Thursday next week. I didn't get any clue who Anita was or why Helene let her friends use the apartment as a love nest. Then I listened to a call from Anna. She was very upset and shouted, "Oh my God! Robin was at Bongo's work and beat him so seriously that he was taken to the hospital in an ambulance. Robin was taken to the police station and kept there. He must have found out about Bongo's and my affair, and I'm sure that he will throw me out of the house. Oh, holy Lord, what shall I do?" Calm down, for heaven's sake. Robin can't throw you out of the house. Don't you own half of it? Lisa asked. No, I don't. It is in his name only. It doesn't matter. You have a right to stay there even if Robin wants a divorce. He doesn't have any legal right to throw you out, at least not before the divorce is final after 6 months, replied Lisa. I'm sure he will. How in the hell could I have been so damn stupid that I met that damn Bongo so often? We ought to have been much more discreet and careful. He was good at that, and you enjoyed it very much, didn't you? Lisa asked. Yes, I did. But I'll cut his balls off, he has been bragging about it. We forgot the golden rule for cheating. Never do it with people in your small hometown. What shall we do? I've already booked the apartment for a date next Thursday, Lisa asked. Go for it and have a memorable time and let him have that back of yours he has been begging for. But let that date be the last time with him, at least for a while until Robin stops raising hell about Bongo. You better put Douglas on a shelf and become Alexander's faithful wife again. I'm sure that Robin still loves me and will forgive me when he has calmed down after his shock. I love him very much and will obey all his conditions to save the marriage. Bongo was a good time, but I would never want to live together with him. The last call from Anna before Lisa went to see her didn't give much new information. Robin had rang Anna and told her that he would spend the night at his parents' house and expected Anna's cheating back to be out of his house the next day. Then Lisa rang me from Anna's home and asked me if Anna could stay in our spare room for a few days until she found something of her own. I demanded to know the reason why Robin threw her out of their house, and Lisa replied, I don't know. Ask her for heaven's sake. Anna doesn't want to tell me, she replied. In that case, she can stay where she is. Do you refuse to help my best friend when she is in trouble? She asked. I do, I replied. Wait a minute, I'll ask her again. Lisa came back after a minute of silence and said, Robin found out that Anna had an affair and cheated on him. I replied, what a shameless woman. My answer is still no. I will never accept any cheating woman in my home. Never in hell. Lisa got angry and shouted, It's my home too, and if Anna has to go to a hotel, then I'm going with her. It is up to you, I replied. You don't care if I do that? She asked. Not in this case. I hate cheating women and I will never help a damn woman who has cheated on her husband, period. Lisa hung up the phone. That call must have given her a bad feeling about what would happen to her if or when I found out about her own cheating. However, she was back at home 2 hours later and went to bed with some angry comments to me. I didn't care. The next day was Friday, and after work, Lisa told me that she would spend the evening out with Anna, who was now living in her retired parents' small 2-room apartment. I told her, Today I heard a funny story about some Douglas Lindberg. Have you heard about him? Lisa looked afraid before she replied. No, not as I can remember. What is he famous for? Meeting cheating women. The gossip says that he's been out with a woman who gave him gonorrhea and he gave it to his wife. He ought to know the old saying, cheating doesn't pay. Don't you think that your friend Anna might agree with that saying? It was a pale Lisa who shouted at me, "You and your damn gossip, don't you ever work in the town hall?" She left about 7:30 and didn't reply when I told her, "Have a pleasant evening." I didn't believe that either Lisa or Anna was in the right mood for a jolly good evening or any further cheating for the time being, and why should I care now that my marriage was beyond any chance to survive? Lisa was back home slightly after 12. I was in bed but hadn't fallen asleep. She didn't say much but gave me many strange looks as if she expected me to say something important. She had obviously been in some kind of connection with Douglas during the evening, and, as expected, he must have denied everything I had accused him of. It was just after my whole family had finished our breakfast on Saturday morning when the phone rang. I took it and got a real surprise because the caller introduced himself as Douglas Lindberg and asked me, "Are you Alexander Erickson?" "Yes, I am, and I know very well who you are, Douglas Lindberg." Our kids had left the kitchen, but Lisa turned ashen gray when she heard it was Douglas who was calling me. Douglas continued, "You are defaming me and my wife with false slander. I'm going to call my lawyer the first thing Monday morning. Why in the hell are you doing that to us?" "Because you, damn jerk, are meeting with my wife. What you call slander was only a simple trap to have Lisa point out her lover. Now I know who you are, and you can be sure that you will pay a high price for what you have done." "You can't be sane," he answered. "It doesn't matter what I am. Do you have a spare room for Lisa in your house?" I asked. Douglas preferred to hang up instead of trying to solve Lisa's problems. Lisa was crying loudly and rushed to our bedroom. I had seen that Douglas had called me from his cell phone, so I dialed his home phone and a female voice replied, "Annalie Lindberg." "Good morning, Annalie. My name is Alexander Erickson, and I regret to say that I have bad news about your husband, Douglas. I found out that he is having an affair with my wife, Lisa. They meet in some love nest in the next town." "Oh my God, are you sure?" she asked. "I regret to say, yes, I am. Could you please tell me where I can find that bastard you are married to?" "Good heaven, what do you intend to do with him?" she asked. "Not much. Only castrate him." "No, you don't. You better calm down for a while. I can see your number on my display and I'll call you later. Please don't do anything stupid. Things are already bad as they are." We ended the call, but the phone rang again a few minutes later. This time it was Lisa's mom who wanted to know about my plans for Lisa's birthday party. I told her the truth. "I don't have any plans for Lisa's party." "You don't have any plans? Haven't you promised to take care of everything for that party?" "That's right," I replied. She shouted, "And are you telling me that you still don't have made any plans for Lisa's party?" "I had made great plans, but they are canceled now, and I'm not involved in that party any longer." "That's no surprise. You can't do anything properly. Who is responsible for that party now?" "Don't ask me. I won't be invited to that damn party because Lisa and I are going to split up," I replied. "Are you insane? Poor Lisa. What have you done to my girl?" she asked. "It is better that ask your poor Lisa what she and Douglas Lindberg did naked in a bed." Lisa's mother began shouting hysterically, so I ended the call, saying that nothing could stop the divorce. A few minutes later, Lisa's father rang me and begged me to forgive Lisa. I told him that I would never accept a cheating wife, and Lisa's cheating had terminated our marriage. The next caller was Anna. I told her, "Good news for you, Anna. Lisa and I shall split up, and from now on you two women are free to meet all the jerks you can find. Pleasant good times waiting in the future, isn't it, Anna?" Anna didn't want to have any further talk about her future with me. She hung up. Lisa came out of the bedroom and asked me to take the kids out for lunch in town, which I accepted. Then she asked, "How long have you known?" "Since I found a receipt from a next-town supermarket in a shopping bag, and I noted that you had taken time off from your job to go there." I didn't believe that shopping at that supermarket was the main reason for your trip. However, I decided to give you a fair chance to tell me the truth about what you did there. That's why I invented the mumbo-jumbo about a friend of mine seeing your look-alike in the next town. The fear on your face told me that something was very much wrong. Instead of confessing that you had been there for some reason, you pretended to know nothing. Why did you see Douglas there, and how is Helene involved in your cheating? Because we could use an apartment that belongs to a sister of Helene's husband. She is working as a nurse for the United Nations in Lebanon for a year. Is she really okay with that, Anna? You and probably some other woman are using her home as some kind of cheating house? That's not true. I confess that I have cheated, but it's not fair to call me a whore. I regret what I've done, and I'm sorry and ashamed, but I didn't do it for money. A whore is clever enough to charge for her service, but Douglas must regard you as a damn stupid woman when you did it for free. How many times did you see that Douglas there? And how many other men before him? I noted a slight hesitation before Lisa replied, Douglas is my first and only fling, and I met him only once. That's all. Not much for cheating. I knew she lied about seeing Douglas more than once, so I replied, maybe not much in your opinion, but enough to terminate marriages. Have Douglas and you booked more dates, and have you planned to leave me and marry Douglas? More lies from Lisa. No, of course not. It was only a one-time fling, and we didn't talk about any future together. I don't love him. He was only a one-time experience, and to be honest, he wasn't better than you anyway. He was different, but not better. Intimacy with you is much better because I love you. You lied straight to my face when I asked you about Helene, and she pretended that she had never heard about you when I called her. Guess what I had seen in your girl party album before I asked you about Helene, and I rang her to ask about you. Isn't it funny that both she and you forgot that she was here at your party in this house less than 6 months ago? Oh my God! What have I done? How could I have been so damn stupid? She answered. Even I might be stupid, but not stupid enough to accept such crap without finding the reason why you did it. I was sure that you cheated me, but didn't know with whom. Not until I got a letter with a scent of perfume in which I was told to look for a guy named Douglas, who obviously was allowed to get into your pants. I didn't know any Douglas, so I once again triggered a simple trap with a lie about his gonorrhea. You got worried and called him yesterday evening, which made him mad enough to call me and introduce himself. The letter was a lie because I couldn't mention the phone tapping. If both Robin and I had got letters, then perhaps Lisa would think Helene or someone else who knew about her cheating was the sender. Lisa began to sob and asked, Is there any chance for us to get past this horror? Please don't ask me such questions this horrible day. Our problems are already out in public. I've talked with your parents, with Douglas's wife, and with Anna. Lisa was ashen gray and sobbed, Oh my God! Then I asked her, Am I really so damn bad that you felt it necessary to sneak away for short times with a hound like this married Douglas? Is the family life in this house such a lousy living that it is not worth caring about? She didn't reply because the kids came in for lunch and I took them with me to a restaurant they liked. Back home again, I told Lisa to move her things to the guest room. In my home office, I checked the phone recorder. The only call was from her mother, who was more worried about the canceled big birthday party than about Lisa's marriage problems. Then I rang Helene and told her that Lisa had confessed everything and had accused her of renting out her husband's sister's apartment for prostitution. I told her that it was against the law and that I intended to send information to the real estate company which owns that house because, in a such case, they would have a legal right to cancel the renting contract. I asked if her husband and his sister knew about her business. Of course, it was a nasty bluff call and nothing would happen to the apartment, but I was sure that Helene didn't sleep very well for a while. Anna's husband, Robin, was the next on my list. I rang him and we exchanged some information. He told me that Anna had confessed that she had met Bongo 5 times, but Lisa had only done it 3 times. Bongo's wife had decided to go for divorce, and even Robin had found divorce to be the only available solution. I told him that even I was for it. Lisa packed an overnight bag and said that she would spend the rest of the weekend at her parents' house and comfort Anna, who was in a terrible mess. I didn't care what she did. Annalie Lindbergh rang me on Sunday morning and told me that she and Douglas had a serious talk about their future. Annalie had found out that Lisa wasn't his only cheating, which had made her decide to divorce him. After she told him her decision, he acted like a lunatic and destroyed an almost new 50-inch flat HD TV and some furniture. She said that by doing that, Douglas burned all his bridges, so it now was impossible to forgive him. Douglas had packed a suitcase and left the house. She didn't know where he was for the time being. I told her that I was also going for divorce and that Anna's husband, Robin, and Bongo's wife would do the same. Lisa didn't come home until Monday morning just before she went to her job. One of the girls at my job had a sister working at the same bank as Lisa. Therefore, I got to know that Annalie had gone to the bank as soon as it opened on Monday morning and had thrown eggs at Lisa and screamed loudly that she was a damn cheating woman who had messed with her husband. It was a real scandal, and rather soon, with the usual gossip magnification, it was well known in town. Lisa went home immediately afterward and took the week off, which she spent at her parents' house. I was there on Tuesday with the divorce papers. Though I saw Lisa in the window, it was her mother who opened the door and accused me of being a damn old-fashioned Puritan who couldn't forgive his pretty, loving wife for a small mistake. I replied, "Lisa's and Anna's minor mistake caused broken homes for 9 children and 8 adults. I can hardly believe that any of us 17 victims will ever agree with you." She took the envelope without any further comments and closed the door with a loud bang. About a week after Lisa had returned back home and had accepted that our marriage had been crushed, we began our negotiations about the divorce. To my great pleasure, our meetings went much better than expected. We were able to talk without cursing, screaming, or shouting. I accepted that she bought my half of the house so the children could have their base in the old home and visit me as often as they wanted. Lisa's parents sold their house and moved to an apartment. As Lisa was their only child, they gave her the money she needed to buy my part of the house, the furniture, and almost everything else in our home. I found a nice apartment an acceptable distance from the old home, so it would be easy for the children to come to my place. Douglas refused to have any connection with Lisa after they got caught, which made her completely mad when they met one evening at a bar. One of the women in Lisa's girl gang told me later how Lisa had bragged that it would be easy for a nice woman like her to find a new man, much better than me. But real life in a small town can be quite different because almost all those good men were already taken, and her reputation as a dumped, cheating woman cooled off some attractive singles. Of course, they didn't say no thanks to one-night fling now and then, but that wasn't what Lisa wanted. Of course, an attractive woman like Lisa will, sooner or later, find a man on a social level that she can accept. But it must have been a surprise for her that there was not a line of attractive men waiting for her. Lisa and Anna's friendship ended after a quarrel about a man they both had wanted. Anna had won, and Lisa had turned into a bad loser, accusing Anna of being a damn cheating woman who had caused her bad luck by persuading her to begin cheating and lose her loving husband. Anna got furious, rang me, and told the whole story about how they met Bongo and Douglas during one of their girl nights out. She even told me that, before the affair with Douglas, Lisa and she had a one-night three-way with one of the doctors at her job, and that had happened in my bed when I was away at a conference. After a short time, Anna left town for a job at the bigger county capital hospital, where she rather soon was dating a doctor. Even Douglas had found greener grass plus a new job and left the town. I used to help his ex-wife Annalie with some matters in her house, but only as a friend. The big party I had planned for Lisa's birthday was reduced to a family affair with our children, Lisa, her parents, and 2 cousins with spouses and children. I had better luck than Lisa at finding a spouse because I met a handsome female 42-year-old lawyer on a dating site. She had dumped her cheating husband, and at first, we only shared our experiences of cheating spouses. But, rather soon, we agreed to meet in real life and found out that we had good times together and now we have begun talking seriously about a future together. An old lawyer in my hometown is planning to retire, and my lawyer girlfriend has decided to buy his firm. Her daughter is the same age as my children, and they are going very well together. And that's the end of today's story. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up and drop a comment below. Your support helps the algorithm push my content further. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It really helps me keep creating more stories for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.